The story of the wedding at Cana occurs only in John's Gospel. And a wedding seems to be a strange context for his first miracle. But weddings are important to everyone, and at that time they were extremely important to the Jewish people. What is a wedding? A celebration of union, a celebration of joining lives together. It's a celebration of joy and intimacy. Well, in the Old Testament, uniting people starts very early. In the Old Testament, we read about Adam and Eve. They're kind of a wedding, though it was a really small reception. It's only them. God is trying to marry the people of Israel to himself. That entire idea of a wedding really speaks of the entire relationship of God to Israel. God is trying to unite in love with the Israelite people, and he will be with them for always. He tries to unite his life to theirs. And so finally, when God says to Abraham, I will be your God and you will be my people, it's like a marriage statement. They're uniting their lives together in intimacy and joy and union. It's saying we are united, we belong together for always. You are my delight and my love. So Jesus comes now and is part of this new wedding idea. Notice in the story of the wedding, the newlyweds really aren't mentioned at all, except for the waiter who says something to the bridegroom about serving the wine and when it's supposed to be served. And the wine is running out. Isaiah in the Old Testament talks about God establishing his kingdom with pure choice wines. Well, now the wine is running out. It seems that union with God is pulling apart. The Israelite people are wandering away from the God who loves them. And their sinfulness has caused that wine to run out. And so God is essentially asking Israel, where is your faith in me? Are you pulling away from me? You seem to be unfaithful and losing your faith. But Mary speaks for all of Israel when she said, they have no wine, and Jesus, basically, you have to help them. So she's saying, on behalf of all of Israel, our faith is losing its power. We're not as faithful to our wedding vows as we were before. Jesus, will you help us? And of course, he will. Water jars are there for the ceremonial washing. The Jewish people are following the law, but as we see, there's 6 jars there, but they're empty. And so Jesus says, you have to fill those, because we're going to do something new and something different. Their devotion to God is losing its luster because those water jars are empty. But Jesus fills those jars with water and says, now we will reestablish our relationship with the Israelite people. And then changes that nasty water that you would find in the desert into sweet, first choice wine. So Isaiah's words about establishing a kingdom with pure choice wines is now being fulfilled because Jesus has come to the scene. Jesus fulfills Jewish spiritual life and indeed the spiritual life of all the world because his wine is here now and will be forever. And everyone can partake in it, not just the Jewish people, but all folks. So what does this mean? What is this message for us? First of all, we could ask the question, is our wine running short? Do we have maybe a crisis of devotion? Maybe we're losing some of our joy in life. Maybe we're not quite as faithful as we used to be. Maybe we're drifting away from our faith. And certainly it's harder to be a faith-filled Catholic person in a more secular world. And so we're called to let God marry us, to let the Lord into our lives once again, to change our murky water into new, choice, pure wine. Also, the only thing that God wants of us is basically to join his life with ours, to have union with us, intimacy with us. He wants to bring his life into ours. And so we are called then to open our hearts, open our minds, to allow God to marry his life with ours, so that we can truly be people who can say that the Lord is with us, and the Lord's wine is filling us each and every day. We are worthy partners in this marriage with the Lord, and we are called to live that way each and every day. And also it means for us that we're called to value the Eucharist that we share. So we come each Saturday night or Sunday to receive the body and the blood, the bread and the wine. And that's extremely important. The wine is transformed by our actions, by the priest's actions and the community's prayer. And in that body and blood, when we receive that wine that is consecrated, we are transformed, we are blessed, we are unified with the God who wants to join his life to ours. And wine really is the symbol of God's devotion to us all. So as we come together this evening to celebrate this Mass, we pray that the wine of God may continue to nourish us and inspire us and transform us each and every day. And we ask, Lord, to give us that wine in abundance so that we can truly be his disciples, his servants.